So here is Apache JMeter. Today we're going to be completing a load test on the ontariotechu website. So as you notice in the beginning, the left-hand side will be a navigation between the test plan and the elements, while the right side will just contain details about each. So the first step is to create a test plan. So all we just need to do is rename it. Let's call it Ontario TechU test. Okay. The next step is to add the thread group. So we go to the navigation, right click, go under Add, under Thread Users, and click Thread Group. And so here, let's rename it to Users, because that's what it really is. And let's continue configuring it. So underneath we have actions to be taken after a sampler error. So this essentially says what should JMeter do if it cannot make the request. So you have the option to continue, start the next thread loop, stop the thread, stop the test, or stop the test now. So for this test, we're going to just keep it on continue. Next, we have the thread properties. First, we have the number of threads, so the number of users that will be completing the test. So let's change that to 10. We're going to have 10 users. They're going to be making requests to the website. The next property we have is the ramp-up period. So this essentially says how long should it take for the threads to start. So we're going to just keep it at 1 for this test. Next we have the loop count. So the loop count will state how many times each user will run the request. So if we change this to 5, we are saying that each user will be making the request 5 times. So in total, there should be 50 requests made. Now that we're done making the thread group, let's add a sampler. So again, we're going to right click, go under Add, go under Sampler, and as you can tell, there's a lot of different requests that can be made. For this test, we just need an HTTP request. So let's select that. I'm not going to change the name because it's pretty self-explanatory. So now we have to enter in the server name. So what you would enter is www.ontariotechu.ca. We have the port number here, which we don't need, and the path. So if you want to access a different page, you can do so by adding it here. Next, we need to add in a listener. So again, we go under Add, and we go down to Listener. So as you can tell, there are a variety of different ways that the data can be displayed. For this test, we're going to be using a summary report, and we're also going to be using, we'll use a view results tree. So in the view results tree, it'll display the request made, and then it'll also give you more details. And under the summary report, it'll tell you the number of samples, the average, the minimum, maximum, standard deviation, the error percentage, throughput, received KB per second, sent KB per second, and average bytes. Okay, so now that we added all of the elements that we needed, we have to save it. So we just click Save, and let's call it Ontario, not summary report, will be Ontario TechU test. Click Save, and yes. Okay, Now we just have to run it. So we click the green play button here. So these are the results of the summary report. And then if we go to the view results tree, these are the results. Okay, so as you can tell, there were no errors made. And if we were to click one, it tells us more information about the request. All right, and that's all. Hopefully that's helpful. And let's continue on with the presentation.